20 miles outside of Bristol is Chew Valley Lake. It's a tranquil place, but its waters hide a secret. At the bottom sit the ruins of the village of Morton, which disappeared in 1956 when the valley was flooded to make a reservoir. But does the lake also conceal the grave of a ghost? On June the 5th, 1999, Chris Pugh, with his girlfriend Wendy and his daughter Sam, were returning home from Bristol past the lake on the B-3114.
Just as I got to the brow of a small hill, I could see a triangular light at the end of the cat's eyes. And just as I approached it, Wendy looked up and she said, "Pewey, Pewey, look out." And I said, "I know, I've seen it."
As we drew closer to this object, it was just a lady just appeared from the middle of the road and drifted very slowly in front of the car.
My first thoughts were, oh, perhaps it's just somebody crossing the road. But then, after I looked again, I realised that something wasn't quite right.
I can remember distinctly that she had long, wavy hair that looked sort of greasy or even wet. I was convinced that it wasn't a human being, it was something supernatural.
What is it? What could it be? And then the next thing you just think, crikey, that is a ghost. I just knew it.
It wasn't until afterwards when I thought about it, I felt absolutely petrified. I didn't really know how to feel, how to handle it, I suppose.
So I pulled into a small car park, into a pub just adjacent to the lake, and phoned the police, and that was quite a difficult explanation to give to them.
Police searched the area but found nothing. A week later, Chris replied to an ad in the local paper asking for people who had seen strange things at the lake. A meeting at the local historical society was arranged for witnesses of the ghostly girl.
There were about 12 people in total, which was amazing because all of them recorded almost the same information when asked a series of questions, yet there was no collaboration because nobody knew each other before that night.
One of those who saw her was Carol Gillen.
I was thinking, stupid cow, what's she doing out this time of night? Weather like this, you know, just with a dress on. That was when I realised then that she was a ghost. The hairs on the back of your neck stood up, knees turned to jelly, and held onto the sort of steering wheel, like just very slowly watching her go up the lane. I started asking around the local village where I lived if there was anybody that knew of anything about maybe a girl out on the lake road. And then I found a lady that had a book of stories about neighbouring villages. I actually came across a passage in the book about a girl called Catherine Brown that lived at Stratford Mill, which now is Chew Valley Lake. The story goes that she'd actually drowned in the moat and she was only a young girl. So I just surmise that this is who it could have been.
Catherine Brown disappeared one day at the turn of the century. The next morning she was found drowned. She'd been dead at least 24 hours. Yet her mother claimed to have seen her the previous night climbing the stairs soaking wet, at a time when she was already dead. The events have left those that saw her wondering if it is Catherine Brown retracing her steps home, a home that now lies deep under the lake.
From the dresses that she was wearing, you could see that she was obviously from the turn of the century, quite a while ago, and all the little pieces of the jigsaw started to fall into place.
Any evidence of Catherine Brown's mortal remains disappeared when the waters flooded the valley.
Somewhere there's got to be a grave, and I would love to think that she's here. And I think until I've actually gone right to the end of the story, I won't be satisfied until I do. But I will find out. And hopefully it is Catherine Brown.